Hey guys, and welcome back to the Lazy Pug Tavern. It's been a while since I made one of these, but anyway, today I'm going to be talking about some ideas I have for a Fossil Fighters campaign. Now, keep in mind I don't have a whole lot of experience when it comes to DMing, so some of these ideas might not be very good, some of them might be very good. I don't know. You let me know in the comments. Also, these ideas are not very fleshed out. They're more of just random ideas I had to add Fossil Fighters into D&D. So keep that in mind as I go for the list. And of course, I'm going to be talking about D&D 5e, not D&D 2024 or whatever they're calling it. I don't know why I clarified that, but anyway, to the first thing on the list. Now, I know this is a Fossil Fighters campaign, but I kind of want to mix combat a bit. Like, every so often we might have, player combat where you kind of do regular combat. And the rest being, dinosaur battles, where dinosaurs fight dinosaurs. Part of this is to make combat less boring because dinosaurs don't really have a whole lot of attacks to begin with. And it's so that the players can, actually use their characters. Now, the next part we're going to talk about is elements. For those of you that don't know, there are different elements in Fossil Fighters because it's kind of like Pokemon. The elements are fire, water, earth, wind, and neutral. And the idea I had to basically make different damage types into elements, well, I'll read off the list I have, and you tell me in the comments if I did well or not. For the fire element, I put fire, because obviously. For water, I put poison, cold, and acid. For earth, I put thunder. For wind, I put lightning and force. And for neutral, I put slashing, bludgeoning, and piercing. Now, in hindsight, this may have not have worked out as well as I thought it did. I don't know. I'm not an expert in trying to balance this stuff out. But this is mostly to help with the next part, which is elemental damage. So in a previous video, I was talking about how I ran some one-shots with dinosaur battles. And one idea I had was basically all the dinosaurs have 3 spell slots. And what would happen is, if you get a successful attack with your dinosaur, you can spend one of the spell slots and add 1d6 elemental damage to their regular attack. This was mostly to try to get the elemental effect of Fossil Fighters into the dinosaur battles, but I didn't explain it right when I introduced it, so one of the players got confused about it. So I'm trying to explain it now as best I can. For this next part, I'm going to add the fossil in Fossil Fighter by having it where the players every so often have to go find a fossil and clean it off. Now, the idea is they find the fossil and then they roll a 1d4. And depending on how good the roll was, well, it adds a bonus to the dinosaur. Now, I haven't figured out exactly what kind of bonus that would be, whether or not it'd be like a bonus on attack rolls or what, but I kind of want to add that kind of feature into, a D&D Fossil Fighters campaign. Now, this next part is a bit confusing. You see, I want to have it to where, how should I put it? The structure of the campaign would basically be a bunch of one-shots that sometimes hint at something bigger that's going to happen. The idea with the one-shots is basically to make the campaign feel like an anime like Pokemon, where the heroes go on these different adventures, but every so often there's like a hint that something evil is coming, or that there's some big plot going on. And eventually, all these adventures will lead up to a point where they have to face off against a big bad, or have to go through this entire, saga of trying to get to the big bad, so that they can fight the big bad. Basically, I kind of want the campaign to feel like the first game, where there's a lot of events that sometimes connect to each other, sometimes they don't. And occasionally you see someone like, I don't know, a random character that keeps appearing that turns out, oh no, they're an alien dinosaur. Okay, this last part I think is very important, and that is, I want this campaign to be very RP heavy. Like, I want the characters to interact with each other and the world and whatnot. Because at the end of the day, that's what you remember from the campaign. You don't remember a whole lot from all the battles you've been in. You remember all the fun jokes and silly characters and whatnot. I guess the moral I'm trying to say is, the adventure was the journey, not the destination. Anyway, if you liked the video, like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments how you would improve on this idea, and feel free to use this idea in your campaign, because let's face it, it's not likely I'd be able to run a campaign like this. I literally know very little about being a DM. But anyway, that's the video, and remember, the Lazy Pug Tavern is always open. Goodbye.